So, we're talking about marriage in my testimony at this point. Home and family dynamics have changed because mommy cannot be mobile at all. I've been told, don't do anything but elevate your leg, don't move it. That's hard for Crystal to hear. Now, the marriage part, this is where for better or for worse comes in. And Morris and I, who I also call Boothang, we've been through some better or worse. We're going on 13 years this year, and him and I have gone through some things and have gotten through them. We both understand that had it not been for the Lord in our marriage, and both of us, it takes both of us to bring the Lord in to our marriage and into our lives individually. Had it not been for us staying grounded with that, it would have been fireworks and not in a good way. Now, with this life change, there definitely was a lot of frustration and anger, all the emotions, but there was also a wonderful blessing that came out of this one, just like the other past, for better or for worse, situations that we've been in. This was just a totally different circumstance and a different time. So the things that I, as a mother, love to do, even though sometimes it would get on my nerves, but it became a habit for me and I really enjoyed doing those things as a mother for our children. I could not do those, especially to the best of my ability. The things that I could do while I was laying there, I tried my best. But other than that, if it involved being from point A to point B and everything in between, my husband had to step in and do those responsibilities. And that was the tough part, seeing him do that, because I know how it's done and I know how I do it. But I had to open my hands and allow my husband to take on and be like, Tag, go ahead, honey. You know, we are a team. Go ahead, you do your best, and I'm going to support you however I can. So even though it was tough to acclimate that, I knew that he was going to do his best, and wherever I could help in, that's where I was going to do. And just in doing that and adding on responsibilities as parents, that's what we got to do. Point blank. We've got to do that. And of course, we don't want situations like this to happen, but if and when they do, there's always going to be trials and tribulations in our life. But when they do come, we have the choice in how we react to them, and if we are going to stay in place and just let it saturate us, or if we're going to keep on pressing forward. And so there was a lot of frustration for my husband because he's trying to figure it all out, you know, make lunches, take the kids to school, pick them up, all of those things. And again, in between, events that the kids had to go to, all of that, mommy couldn't be a part of it. And as much as I rooted him on, I was like, yeah, he gets to see what I got to go through. Hey, you know, get a little taste of it and all. But please don't make no mistake with me saying that, as I make a joke of it. Yes, I love that he got to get a taste of what mommy does on a daily basis every single day. But please believe, if the roles were reversed and he was injured, mommy stepping up. Mothers are nurturers. That's what we do. So whatever I had to do for my husband, please believe I'm going to do it. Yes, there's going to be frustration. There's going to be there's going to be anger and all of those other things because you're trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, the job's got to get done. So our marriage went through that disorientation in this situation, trying to figure things out, our new norm at this time. But at the same time, this is where the Lord brought us so much closer. There was a lot more prayer, a lot more support from one another, communication, which I always say communication is key. Our communication got better. And just seeing him, my husband, support me in a way that I'd never seen him support me really opened my heart, my eyes to him even more. Also in that time, I realized that even during the difficult times is when we call on the Lord the most. And the Lord pressed on my heart and also convicted me. He was like, I don't need you to call me when the hard times happen. I need you to also be calling me in the good times as well. And this is where the Lord just started showing himself to me and revealing so many things that I obviously was blind of prior to this incident occurring. And so he was showing me our marriage from a different perspective. And as I mentioned, I'm a heavy observer. I see a lot of things, I listen to a lot of things. But because I was down, I had a lot more time to observe, watch my husband do the things that he does and step in places that he was unfamiliar with within the family dynamics that I normally do a lot of. The other thing that I'm going to say about the marriage is, especially as a wife and a woman, because I was down and out, my nails, I had not even got them done since Christmas. So the balance was real. My nails was extra long. I ended up having to cut them down. My eyebrows was bushy, had just like out there. So I felt very ugly. And there were times I didn't want him to even look at me. I would cry. All those emotions that a woman has. But he loved me and still loves me at my worst. To see me at my worst and still get up every morning and do what he's supposed to do, all of those things, those were the vows that we made together forever. And in our room, we have the three strand cord that represents the husband, the wife, and God. And it's braided. And when it's braided, it's not easily broken. And that's a reminder to us that no matter what we go through, as long as we keep the Lord centered in our marriage, in our lives, in our home, that our foundation it'll shake, but it's not going to break. And so through all of this, through my personal emotions as a wife and as a mother, the foundation was shaky, but it never broke from January 3rd up to here. There was a lot of growing and development moments for both of us as parents and as husband and wife. But I'm truly grateful that the Lord immediately started revealing things to me that I may not have ever really took the time to observe back then. So that's one thing that I want to share that the Lord has done through this story, this testimony of mine. The next part is going to be my first doctor's visit and what happens when I finally meet the orthopedic surgeon. Mind you, by this time that I see the doctor, I have been in this splint cast thing for a little bit over 4 weeks and some change. So yeah, it was real. So the next part is going to be my doctor's visit and meeting my orthopedic surgeon and what he says.